Hey, what's up, everyone? Welcome to a brand new episode of Chill Streams. For this episode, I'm waiting for a friend or two to show up on here. For right now, it's just me. So, this topic is going to be a little fun one for me. We're not going to take things too seriously, but I thought of just taking the time to talk about predicting what might happen in the story. I could make a video on it, but I don't want to put up too much editing, uh, have like too much effort put into that because A, there are other videos I want to work on, and B, I don't really think there should be that much. I don't think I need to do like a speculation video or another theory video when I already have other projects in the work. So that being said, let's just take a little bit of time and talk about the Big Mom flashback arc. I'm one of those people that honestly think that there will be an arc to Big Mom's flashback. There's a few reasons for that. Number one, it's a Yonko flashback. Like this isn't just another like common character flashback where we get like maybe two chapters of a character. It's like, oh, this is the character when they appeared as a kid, and then here's what happened to them as an adult. Kind of like that one Doflamingo minion that had like a pacifier in his mouth. I don't even remember his name. God, I feel bad that I don't even remember his name. But it was that minion with the pacifier in his mouth. Like he had a few chapters dedicated to his backstory, but it wasn't an arc though. Big Mom though, I definitely think she's gonna have like an arc in this giant flashback. Because I think Tekken 101 said it best. Um, this is a this flashback, this story we are now seeing unfold is all about a Yonko. And we, the audience, will finally get to see how does one become a Yonko? What path does one take in order to become like this ruler of the seas? Is it going to be like, is there a lot of murder involved? Is there conspiracy? Is there like, what do you have to do to become like this all powerful ruler of the sea? And with Big Mom, it's interesting because we're seeing her backstory when she was like 5 years old. Like, wait, was that it? Was it 5 years? Yes, she was 5 years old when her arc began. And the only other time we got like an actual flashback of a Yonko was Whitebeard during Marineford. That was in fact, you don't even have to call like a real flashback. All Whitebeard did was he remembered when he was on a ship. It's like, oh yes, it'd be great if I had a family. Meanwhile, I'll just get shot to death. But hey, at least I had a flashback. No, this is all different now. Big Mom's having a flashback. So let's stay on that subject for a little bit. So Big Mom is a flashback to summarize. When she was 5 years old, she was already like this giant. Um, and she was left on Elbaf. I'm sorry. It's not called Elbaf anymore. It's like some different name now. Whatever. I'm calling it Elbaf. You can call it Asgard if you want to. I'm calling it Elbaf. Um, but she was left there by her parents, and they trick her by saying, "Oh yes, we're just going to buy some candy, my dear. I'll bring you back some sweets in about never." They leave her, and Big Mom. Oh, I guess I should just call her Charlotte. I could call her Big Girl, but let's not do that. That's just insulting people. But so Charlotte is left on Elbaf, and she's brought in by Mother Caramel, who I don't remember which theorist called this, but it was a Mother Caramel was a nun, and I was thinking like when whoever called that, it's like, oh yeah, I think she's gonna be a nun. I'm like, there's no way she's a nun because how would Oda even resemble Christianity? And then Oda resembled Christianity. Like, oh, how about that? We have nuns in One Piece now. Okay, whatever. I'm not going to question that anymore. And Mother Caramel brings Charlotte in to her home, and her wacky home of orphans. Oh hey, Russell Jones, what's up, man? How you doing? Anyway, so the flashback basically continues with how do I put this? Charlotte's playful manner of life in this orphanage. she is causing trouble, but well, she's a troubled child with that causes trouble for everyone, but she's still a child. No, like you can't really blame a child for being a child, so it's whatever. Even though she's not really like that much, she's just a child. What are you gonna do about it? Kind of like with Naruto when he was a little kid. But after that, we then have Charlotte's friend, whose name shall be Jenny, because I honestly don't remember her name. But Charlotte's friend Jenny tells Big Mom about, like, oh my God, Charlotte, there's this really cool dessert. There's this super supreme like dessert or candy, and it's like a gift from God. And it's gonna be really good, Charlotte. Apparently this girl is Rick now. It's gonna be really great, Charlotte. It's gonna be all your dreams come true. So Big Mom now fantasizes about this dessert, and it's at that moment where she actually goes into one of her famous rampages as a child, which apparently is just like, how do I put this? A murderous rage with conquerors hockey involved. I think that is how Oda drew it or wrote it as well. So Charlotte's just like rampaging throughout Elbath, and everyone's in fear. Everyone's dying. Good job, great warriors of Elbath. You are dying to a 5-year-old. Anyway, and now like the king of Elbath and like the other warriors are stepping in, ready to just like kill Big Mom where she stands, all because she was hungry for some candy. That is all we know so far. And the only other piece of information that I left out was that, oh yeah, we have is Prince Loki is on Elbaf. He's confirmed, huzzah. And the two giants we saw way back in part 1 of One Piece, they are already at their location in part 1. It was just confirmed. Whatever. So now we enter the realm of speculation as to what exactly will happen. So here's what I think. Well, actually, before I say what I think is going to happen next, I wanted to say what I thought was going to happen before this flashback arc happened. Because I talked to Joy Boy Theories about this, and I talked to a few other friends of mine about what could possibly happen during this whole flashback saga. And I thought it was just going to be like, oh yeah, Big Mom was probably treated horribly as a child. Like maybe she was born on Elbaf, and maybe she was just made fun of a lot, like traumatized, child abuse, whatever you want to call it. Just was treated horribly by the other giants. Maybe she just wasn't as tall as the other giants, or maybe because Elbaf was very sexist towards women, whatever. And this caused Big Mom to have like to grow some animosity towards the giants, and she hated them for the rest of her life. So then, when Big Mom left the giants to go be her own pirate, Big Mom, when she had Lola, decided that Lola should marry, like, hey, Lola, if you go marry one of the giants, if you marry Prince Loki from Elbaf, maybe the bad blood between me and them can be restored. Family honor. I'll be the most powerful woman in the world, according to me. Ha 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 ha. And I will rule the world. Obviously, it doesn't go well because Lola just leaves, and which dashes Big Mom's hopes entirely. And I thought that would be like the last straw. Like Big Mom is just done with the Giants forever. But no, that's not the case. Well, not entirely the case. I I can finally say I called something for once in this series. I can say that, yeah, Big Mom was treated unfairly by pretty much everyone on Elbaf, aside from the Caramel. So what's going to happen next? If I do believe, it was the king, like the last panel of the most recent chapter. The king was about to kill Big Ma, Charlotte, and that was the last panel. So now we reach the uncharted territories, my pretties. So what could possibly happen now? What I believe will happen is that Charlotte will fully realize, like, conquers hockey, like using her hockey, she's going to stop the king's attack from killing her. That's possibility number A. Possibility number B is that before the king actually kills Charlotte right where she stands, I was thinking like maybe Mother Caramel jumps in, takes the sword, does a full, she pulls a pork ass DA's, just does, just pulls that maneuver, dies in front of Charlotte, and it's like, I am so happy that I got to protect you. Leave Elbaf, live your life, live the life that I gave you, and then she dies, and then maybe that's why Big Mom hates giants forever. Blah blah blah. I think that's gonna be like the general gist of what's gonna happen. Mother Caramel's gonna be killed because she tried to protect Charlotte, and Charlotte is going to hate the Giants because Mother Caramel got killed. I don't know how long this flashback saga is gonna be. It may be just like maybe 2 more chapters, maybe more, because I'm really hoping it's gonna be more. I don't want just like 3 chapters, because this is like, as I keep saying throughout this arc, whenever I do a review, this is a Yonko we're dealing with. I want like this story expanded a lot. I want to know everything about Charlotte. I want to know everything about this character, because she has been built up for years. If we have an arc of how she went from child to Yonko, like just get her life story, that'd be great. We don't have to see the entire life story like every day of her life, but just like the general gist of it. That would be great. I would love to see that. I just don't want it to be like, oh no, Mother Caramel is dead. I guess I hate the Giants now. Then we just cut back to the wedding, where I'm gonna guess that Beiji's missile kind of worked, but it didn't work. But yeah, I think that is the general gist of what I believe is going to happen. What do you guys think? All of you that are watching this right now, comment. What do you think is going to happen during this entire flashback arc? Because honestly, I think it's like going to be a simple arc, but I just wanted to be expanded upon. With that being said, though, let's move on right after that, just for the sake of time, so I don't stare at the computer screen all night. I want to move on to the wedding, like how this wedding is going to end. And me and Joy Boy kind of had a little, heat going on, just a tad, because I brought up like this crazy scenario about what could happen during when we cut back to the wedding, and Joy Boy's like, no, that's not going to happen. This is going to happen. I'm just like, really, Joy Boy? Do you really think so? So what I believe is going to happen after the wedding is that the Vince Smokes, even though Sanji saved them, I think they're just going to like just go back on Big Mom's side. And the reason for that, and I know they've been betraying all that, but I think the reason is that there was a bit of foreshadowing throughout Whole Cake Island arc. And it all starts when Reiju was first introduced in the series. When Reiju sucked the poison out of Luffy when, he was poisoned. I feel dumb for just repeating myself. But anyway, when Reiju sucked the poison out of Luffy, I thought to myself, all right, that's a pretty cool ability. And then we never see that ability again. In fact, we don't really see like any other Vince Smoke ability aside from, what was it, Ichiji, knee, and Sanji in the back with like an electric kneecap, kind of like what Captain Falcon does in Smash Brothers, just knee someone that produces an electrical shock or whatever. But what I believe what's going to happen is that now that we have reached the part in the wedding where Beiji fires a poison missile at Big Mom, it just made me trigger like, oh, this is why Oda showed Reiju having the ability to suck poison so early on in the arc, because I think Big Mom's going to get hit by the missile. She's going to be extremely poisoned. And as she's, I guess, dying, if you want to go that far, I think one of Big Mom's subordinates is going to realize, like, wait, Vince Smoke family, or Reiju Vince Smoke, Ivan, we know what your family can do. We know that you, Reiju, have the power to suck this poison out of Big Mom. You can save Big Mom. And tell you what, if you save her, congratulations, we will forgive you. You'll be like an ally to us. I'm sure Mama will forgive you. And then Judge will be like, oh, there's a chance that I get to live through all this sweetness. So then he sends Reiju to go suck the poison out of Big Mom. And Reiju obviously doesn't want to, but it was established earlier in the arc that even though Reiju has some semblance of an emotion, she still has to do everything that Judge says. So Reiju will have no choice in the matter and just save Big Mom. Big Mom, the Straw Hats and Beige are going to look in awe, like, oh crap, she's saved. Big Mom saved. The Vince Smokes are now full-time allies with Big Mom probably now. So I think there's only one logical reason we could do now. Everyone run for your lives! And that's where Caesar comes in with Bellamy? Why am I thinking Bellamy? No. God, I feel bad. I'm forgetting all these names of characters. The Mirror Chick. The old hag Mirror Chick. That's her name now from this point onward on all my streams. Brule! That's it, Brule. I'm sorry. Brule. I think that's when Caesar and Brule's magic mirror is going to come in, because I think everyone is going to realize, like, okay, the Vince Smokes are free. They're going to fight with Big Mom. The assassination plan failed. Let's count our chickens and just bolt. Leave the wedding right now. Evacuate. And because of that magic mirror, everyone, including Sanji, gets to leave the island. They escape and live to fight another day. But the thing is, Morgan the bird, Morgan the inhabitant from Rito Village from Breath of the Wild, he was there. He saw everything that transpired. So he's obviously going to report to the news like, oh my god, guys, listen up, world. The Straw Hats just dealt a blow to Big Mom. They ruined one of her most sacred events, and they got away with it too. And that's going to cause like all kind of sparks and ripples throughout the world. And it's going to make everyone else realize, oh crap, the Straw Hats are going up against a Yonko now. I think that's going to be like one of the best reactions in the world. My favorite reaction when like everyone's reacting to the Straw Hats was when they got the new bounties after Dressrosa, because we saw the entire world react to Doflamingo's defeat, and it just expanded the lore so much. I love it. I want the same to happen here. Anyway, going back to the chat now. Russell, what's up, man? Imagine Kid Kaido. Kid Kaido. Honestly, Russell, that is the most beautiful thing I've ever imagined in my life. Like, I want to say that Kaido as a kid, he keeps the facial hair. Like, the facial hair never changed. He still has that, like, super thick mustache and beard. Actually, in honor of Samurai Jack ending, I guess I should say that Kaido should have kept his extra thick mustache and giant beard. There's a good point. What would Kid Kaido be like? I guess if you want to, like, if we're gonna have like a backstory to Kaido of all people, what I assume could happen would be that maybe Kaido started off as just like as a weakling, maybe. No, let's change it up because I want to make it fit with like the present lore. I want Kaido to already be strong, like stronger than average as a kid. Maybe as a kid he just couldn't make any friends because he kept hurting them with like power he couldn't control. Whether it be Devil Fruit transformation, whatever you want to say, blah blah blah. But I just want to like maybe Kid Kaido just could not make any friends because he was too strong. Like he couldn't control his powers, just like Charlotte can't control her rage. He hurt people, couldn't make any allies, and he continued down this path until he was recognized as a real enemy to the world. And that's when the government starts coming in. And that's when I believe pirates also come in to kill Kaido, because I think it was implied in Kaido's introduction that he was a threat to pirates too, and he was captured and he tried to be killed. people tried to kill Kaido. I think it's just like Kaido was strong from the start and just kept growing stronger. And when he became like a full-fledged adult, that is when people started following him. Like when adult Kaido actually had the ability to control himself, then 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 events start falling into place. I believe that might happen. That might be a little the general gist of what Kid Kaido could be in the grand scheme of things. I guess while we're at it, since we're talking about kid versions of the Yonko, um, Kid Blackbeard, that would be a challenge. I want to make that a challenge to any One Piece theorist that's watching this right now. Make a full-fledged 30-minute video detailing Blackbeard's past, full backstory as a Yonko. What would Kid Blackbeard be like? How maybe he started out as an optimist, because if you watch Blackbeard throughout the series, you realize that this is a man that has a very dark outlook on the world. Like he feels like there's a dark truth to everything that happens in the world. Everyone's rotten, the people are rotten, everything that happened in the world is rotten. So he's going to stand at the top of the world so that his dream can be realized, blah, 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 that kind of stuff. So maybe Kid Blackbeard started out as this optimist, like a really loving life kind of fellow. And I would assume, because he joins Whitebeard's crew at an early age, I believe that Blackbeard was just like, honestly, I can't really describe what his life would be as a child. But what I could assume is that maybe just shit happened to Blackbeard as a kid. Just like a horrible event after horrible event could happen that made Blackbeard just start to lose all hope in life in general. Just like he just continuously goes on a dark path. Eventually, he becomes as dark as his devil fruit itself. And what could happen after that? Oh yeah, and according to one of the SBS volumes, one of Blackbeard's hobbies was historical research. So maybe as a child, Blackbeard was also fascinated with the world. So then he started like researching the history of it, and maybe kind of like the O'Harans, Robin's cultural race. Blackbeard may have also realized, oh, so this is what the government did. That sucks, and they rule us like the government rules the world, and I'm a part of that. This really, like, I'm gonna have an existential crisis about that. So maybe that's like the again, maybe that's the straw that breaks. Maybe that's what causes not Kaido, God, Blackbeard to lose all hope of life. Realizes that the world is just like a dark place. But if it's going to be a dark place, he's going to at least stand at the top of this dark world. So that's Kid Blackbeard. Kid Shanks. That's going to be fun. I actually did a theory about Shanks. About what his past would be. It was my 2,500 subscriber special back in the good old days when all of you were spared from my horrific voice. Or all you had to do was just stare at my Arial font, black highlighted text with filtered pictures for like 15 minutes. But anyway, my whole spiel about Kid Shanks. By the way, fanboy 5593. What's up, dude? What's up, mate? My whole spiel about Kid Shanks was that as a child, he already had access to Conqueror's Haki, like to an insane degree. He just couldn't control his Conqueror's Haki, and anyone that was around him just like died. Like that's how out of control and powerful his Conqueror's Haki was as a child. Until one day, Goldie Roger and or Rayleigh stumbled upon Child Shanks, and since they're absurdly strong, they could withstand Shanks's Conqueror's Haki. and Shanks finally found like a figure like, oh my god, there's someone that can actually survive me. And then Goldie Roger takes him in as an apprentice, and that's where Shanks' life began. That's how he goes on the Goldie Roger ship. That's what I think could happen. I think that's a realistic possibility. I'm not even, I won't dare say, I won't dare be like other people where it's just like, oh, well, Shanks had Conqueror's hockey, and because he did, this is the true 100% revealed story of Shanks. 100% confirmed. Like, rate, and subscribe for more perfect theories. And that's not it at all. Absolutely not. Let's see. Oh, Red Hair Ragnar. Feel free to join me in the call because fun story. I invited Ragnar to be a part of this. What do you have to say? Joy Boy is straight taking us to Biopsych 101 in his Big Mom Explain. Yes. That was he alluded me to that one because we talked in DMs or direct messages on Twitter. He kind of alluded to that one. That was just hilarious. I was thinking like, look at all these speculations that you're pulling up, Joy Boy. I would like to see you try to explain all that. Oh my God, he actually did try to explain all that. Good work, Go Boy. Seriously, if anyone can make Biology 101 sound interesting, it's Joy Boy. He's that talented. And all of you, if you don't even know who Joy Boy is, go watch him immediately. And on that note, go to Red Hair Ragnar TV's channel. I'll put a link to it in the description when this stream is over. Go watch his stuff because Ragnar, I actually have watched some of your videos before. I love your editing style. Like your work. I hope you grow, man. I want you to grow. Surpass me. Surpass all the theorists. Be the next One World HD. Rest in peace. Oh my God, One World HD. Please come back. I miss you, senpai. What else can we talk about? What else is a cool, funny topic talk about? Let me think. Actually, what do you all? Someone in the comments hit me because I just gonna type a quick message real quick. I wonder who I'm gonna send this message to. What else could we talk about? Has to be something engaging, something fun. Like, what's fun and engaging? Not Pirates of the Caribbean, Dead Man Tell No Tales. I saw that movie last night. And here's the sad thing. I'm a giant Pirates of the Caribbean fan. And how am I going to prove that? Because I actually like all of the movies. I actually did like Dead Man's Chest. I did like At World's End. And I even liked On Stranger Tides, for that matter. My God, I love those movies. But the fifth one that just came out, there is so much lost potential. Like, I won't give spoilers because if you're a fan, I recommend you go see it because I'm glad I saw it. It's just that there are themes that I have many issues with. But my whole spiel against Pirates 5 was that it felt too easy. Like the characters in the movie just took the perfect route, and everything was resolved in a bleach kind of ending way. Like, it wasn't satisfying as a movie. It wasn't satisfying as the supposed finale to the entire series. I think that's what the trailer said, and I think it is confirmed that Pirates 5 would be the last Pirates movie ever, unless, they're just going to get rid of Johnny Depp and just have a new pirate be the helm. But I think it's the end of the Pirate saga, which is sad if Pirates 5 is the way they're going to go out. Which is sad. There are things I like. The villain is great. The concepts are great. There's an actual explanation as to why there were so many goddamn curses throughout the entire franchise. Yeah, there's an entire explanation for that if you think about it, as it centers around this one mystical object. It's pretty cool, but everything else in the movie is just like it's throwing like one plot line in, and then you're just like, okay, I'm on board on this plot line, but then another plot line comes in, and then another explanation comes in. It loses focus. Something's needed to be expanded upon. Oh, man. I watched it with my best friend last night, and all we did for the next half hour as we drove back home was just continuously rant about how that movie could have been so much better. How we as Pirates fans just wanted like a better explained movie, one that's expansive, one that, earns that perfect ending and not shoehorns it in because, Disney's rich. We can do whatever we want. Screw you, Disney. Earn your ending. Earn it. God, I'm sorry for that rant. It's just been boggling my mind. I even tried doing recording sessions today and last night, just trying to write a cohesive script about what this movie did right and what it did wrong, but there was so much wrong. I had to keep retyping everything. I just gave up out of sheer rage. My God. Rant's over. What do you what do you guys type in? Red Hair Ragnar TV says, going back to the kid versions of the Yonko. As a 5-year-old, Kid Blackbeard thoroughly enjoyed cherry pies. Little did the psychologist know it was a metaphor for his adult self's killing intent. I would love to see that. Just one day, Kid Blackbeard goes into into a pie shop, eats a bunch of cherry pie, and the guy that serves the pie there is just like, "Oh man, you really do like your cherry pie." And then Blackbeard lifts his head up, just cherry smeared all over his face, and then the pie server just gets this Vietnam future vision of everything that Blackbeard did horribly wrong as an adult, and he's just scarred for life, and he's traumatized at what he's seen. Vietnam flashback, flash forward style. Oh man. Oh, fanboy 5593, you say, Trevor, I've enjoyed your top 25 One Piece villains so far. Thank you, man. Thank you, man. I have one question. What is one villain in One Piece you can relate with, or is that a secret? If there is a villain that I could relate with, honestly, there is. What's weird is that every villain in One Piece, in a way, can be relatable to someone. Arlon is a parallel to racism. Who else? Gecko Moria is a parallel to depression. CP9. Oops, I just spoiled that one. Forget I ever said that those two letters that don't mean anything. What was his name? DZ9, whatever. I didn't say anything. You heard it here first, folks. Basically, all the villains have have a parallel that allows someone to relate to someone. If it was for me, I honestly don't really relate to any of them except for a certain villain that will not be mentioned because of spoilers. But I'm trying to think of a villain on the list so far that I can truly relate to. That let me think. 25 was Hody Jones, then it was Jack, and then it was Kuro, then it was Edward Weeble, Don Krieg. You all of you know that I will never relate anything with fandom. Never. The Garose, Celestial Dragons, Kuma, Smoker. If I have to relate to anyone, Smoker. Because he lives a constant battle of the government has all these laws, but at the same time, Smoker's moral obligation is in conflict with the very government he's supposed to serve. He knows what's morally right, but there are laws too established by a system that he has sworn to protect and uphold. I can totally get behind that because there were times in my life where I have seen some situations that I know that are morally right, but maybe there's just a government law in the way, or just the will of the people or whatever would just stop me from ever doing anything. Kind of like that. I think we can all kind of relate to that. Let's just see. What else did you guys say? By the way, yes, that is. By the way, for part 4 of the One Piece villains list. I have great news, by the way. Slots 10 through 6, which is going to be part 4, all the audio has been synced up. The only thing that's left for me is to get all the footage and make all the footage for each slot and then just stick it all in. I don't know how long that's going to take exactly. The real life right now is just getting like, even though I'm technically almost done with college, there's just still like some business left I have to take care of. But I'll have more time to work on what I want to do. I'll have more time to work on part 4. And part 4 will definitely be the next video that I finish because part 3 was just inexcusably delayed for too long. So I owe it to all of you to at least make part 4 not have such a long gap of time. What else did you guys say? Ragnar, feel free to just join in the chat, dear friend. Just interrupt me while you have the chance, because I know I invited you, whatever. But what did you say? The Shanks and Mihawk relationship. Ooh, I barely touched on that one. Shanks was a genius and prodigy. Mihawk is a sword master. Why did I hesitate on sword? Anyway, as rivals, Shanks finds it easy to learn things such as hockey and swords, whereas Mihawk was a master at swords, of course. Ah, gotcha. Yeah, it's interesting that for two rivals, like these two literally godly rivals, Mihawk and Shanks' relationship isn't really explored that much. I guess Oda is saving it for near the end of the series where we finally get to see, maybe when Shanks' backstory is finally revealed, we get to see how Shanks and Mihawk meet at long last. After all this time and so much build-up, how do these two become rivals? And what were one of their fights like? I want to see that so bad. God. Like, because I want to see Shanks and Mihawk in their prime, just fighting. Sure, maybe part of the world died that day, but it'd be an amazing fight to see. And here's another thing. This has been on my nerves for a long time. In fact, it's been like a pet peeve of mine ever since I started the series. Because when I first started reading One Piece, it was when Don Krieg fought Luffy. And I didn't see Mihawk before that. Literally the first introduction to the entire series for me was Don Krieg fighting Luffy. But even after that chapter, even after that fight, I heard like tales of all these characters, and I learned who Mihawk was, and that was great. But then I also learned that Mihawk was a rival to Shanks. And then when I realized what a Yonko was, I thought, oh my god, Mihawk is a rival to the Yonko, and he's just sitting down, like he's lowered himself down to like a warlord status, just to, like, you would think that, oh, a man that could rival the Yonko is just like a simple warlord. Okay, cool, do what you want, but man, I never realized that Mihawk would be such a boss. But here's what really pisses me off. The fact that because he's a warlord, people automatically assume that Mihawk is just like so much weaker than Shanks. It's like, what? Are you kidding me? Like, I don't think people understand the concept of rivals in the first place. I don't think they truly understand like what a rival is. Because okay, Luffy and Kobe are kind of rivals, but it's a very one-sided rivalry that's shown. Whereas Shanks and Mihawk, you can tell that these two respect each other's strength. Like, you could tell that if you watch them and if they fought, then it's almost on equal playing ground. In fact, Mihawk talks down to Shanks when he beats him in part 1. He's like, oh my, look, Shanks, you lost your arm. I don't even consider you to be a worthy adversary anymore. It's like you lost a part of yourself and you got so much weaker. You are now inferior to me. I am now the world's best swordsman. And somehow people still think like, oh, because Mihawk is just a simple warlord, he's He's so much weaker than Shanks. He's just, where Shanks is god tier, Mihawk is just like, he's cool tier. Like, oh my god. That's just been on my mind so much. In fact, that is really one of my pet peeves with anime in general. When people make characters stronger than they are or weaker than they are, just for the sake of like trying to prove a point. The latest example, Katakuri. Debate videos, theory videos, people that call Katakuri god level videos, people that call Katakuri trash videos. Every single one of those videos has some sort of bias. Either it's for Katakuri or against Katakuri. And this entire time, things are constantly exaggerated. Some people like, and the entire reason for this bias is because of Katakuri's ability to see the future. And I do like the debate of, oh wow, how far can Katakuri see into the future? What's his limit? Is there really, like, does he have to focus on someone to see the future, or is it just like it just comes to him naturally? Those are good debate topics. What I hate most of all is that when someone is like, oh man, well, Katakuri can obviously see into like years into the future, all because we don't know his limits. And he's just, I'm just going to start making up random BS just so that I'm right and all of you are wrong. It's like when people start exaggerating the details or like just make stuff out of nowhere that kind of relates to their topic, but in the end just sounds crazy. That really gets on my nerves. Because it goes back to like Dragon Ball Z arguments when Goku has to fight Superman. It's like there are clearly limits established, but man, some people just take things way too far, way too seriously. No one wins in the end. No real debate is ever answered. Oh man, just gets on my nerves. Well, so much for this chill stream. It's not even a chill stream anymore. It's just basically part 1 stream, part 2 kid backstories, part 3 I hate everything in life. Gotcha. Okay. What else is there to talk about in terms of One Piece? We already talked about what the kid versions of the Yonko could be. We have already talked about what how the whole Cake Island arc could end. How what else did we talk about? I don't want to talk about Wano, honestly, because I feel like that's going to be a stale topic because people are starting to realize, even though they're very consumed with the hype of Big Mom, they're realizing that, oh snap, the next hot topic is going to be about Kaido. Everyone's going to be making videos about that. Every conceivable point and topic is going to be covered. It will just feel like generic to do a video on Kaido, which is very weird of saying it because it hasn't happened yet, but whatever. What I am thinking of doing, though, for a video on Wano is, I'm not even going to make like a full theory video on Wano, on the Wano arc. I'm just going to make like a Samurai Jack intro style for Kaido, where it's going to just be like, you know what, I could just do a practice one right here, where Kaido is going to be Aku, and he's going to be like, long ago in a distant land, I, Kaido, the possibly transforming master of darkness, unleashed an unspeakable evil, but a foolish pirate swordsman wielding a cursed sword stepped forth to oppose me. Clang, 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 of course. Before the final blow was struck, I told the swordsman to make a right turn to face my true form, and he immediately got lost. Now the fool seeks to return to my lair and undo the evil that is Kaido. And then that sweet godlike music track plays. Boom bam. Wano video. Obligatory Wano arc video. Done. The best part is that I already got permission from a video creator, content creator, that I could use her fan-made Samurai Jack intro in one of my future videos. I won't spoil what it is. Well, I guess it kind of is because I just kind of made it allude to Zoro. Whatever, Samurai Zoro. Look it up. Please look up Samurai Zoro. It's a fan-made intro. I love it. It's very well edited. Fits perfectly with the tone of Samurai Jack. I'll be using that with the monologue I just did. That will be my Wano arc video. When I get to it, I will get to it. Right now, it's just the One Piece villains arc, my friends. What does you guys say? Fanboy. Good. Ah, fare thee well, fanboy. Thank you for joining me. Thank you. Means the world that you lasted with me for this long. Let's see. What else is there to talk about? As I wait here, waiting in the darkness. I guess while we do talk about the darkness, I could talk about Blackbeard more. Some people are questioning if Blackbeard is going to be the final villain, because some people think that Akainu is going to be the final villain as well. Or not as well, just like who will be the definitive last villain in One Piece? Many believe that it's Blackbeard, but many also believe that it's going to be Akainu, and each side is right in their own perspective. Akainu basically heads up the Marines, the most dangerous force in the world. Akainu also killed Ace, very personal connection to Luffy. But meanwhile, you have Blackbeard, who also has a personal connection to Luffy, was the reason Ace got captured, and is basically responsible for Part 2 of One Piece even happening. Both sides are really valid, and for a long time, I wanted to make a theory video about that very topic. What would, who would be the final villain? I would have, like, guest speakers come in, because I was going to make it my magnum opus. But as time went by, I felt like it was just going to be like, I think Blackbeard is going to be the final villain. Because it looks like Blackbeard will have the freedom to do what is needed to truly become the final villain. Whereas Akainu is more inclined to like a desk job. Or not a desk job, more like just a leadership role. In fact, wow, I can't believe I'm connecting this to that again, but basically, the ending of One Piece is going to be like the end to Pirates of the Caribbean on Stranger Tides. For those that haven't seen the movie, the ending to the fourth Pirates movie is basically the equivalent of Jack Sparrow and his merry group of pirates. They find the Fountain of Youth, but another group of pirates come in. And then the Spanish Inquisition. No, I'm just kidding. Not the Spanish Inquisition. Like the Spanish Armada comes in. So basically, you have, again, to make the parallel, Marines versus pirates. Marines versus evil pirates versus your good pirates. Ta-da! And I think that's just going to be the basic equivalent of One Piece's final war, the Throne Wars, whatever you want to call it, which is going to be Luffy's side versus Blackbeard's side versus the world government. Or, as Flying Panda puts it, Luffy's side versus Blackbeard and the government as allies. Actually, you know what? Let's talk about that just for a little bit, because that is a very intriguing concept. And after this stream, I recommend that all of you look up Flying Panda and just watch his latest video. I think it is his latest video. Just the would Blackbeard and the world government join together as allies? For me, it's a little far-fetched. That whatever, but it's not unrealistic. It could be a thing that happens, honestly. Maybe kind of like with Doflamingo, maybe Blackbeard could like blackmail the government. Maybe Blackbeard, because of his historical research, found some horrific evidence against the government and uses that to blackmail his group of pirates to be forming an alliance with the world government. Because by the time that happens, maybe Luffy has already made advances on the Yonko. Maybe he's already super close to One Piece itself. And Blackbeard doesn't want to lose his edge. He doesn't want to lose to Luffy, so he's going to make a desperate ploy. And what could be a better desperate ploy than joining the Marines? Or not join the Marines, allying with the Marines, for God's sake. Which could lead to the ultimate battle, the ultimate throne war battle. That's a possibility that could happen. But again, go see Flying Panda's video about Blackbeard possibly joining up with the world government to take out Luffy, or just be allies in general. What else could I talk about? What else do we have with this chill stream? I'm gonna make the stream last for just a little bit longer, maybe 40 more minutes sounds reasonable, because I don't want to bore you all for too long. Are there any other future videos I have in progress? Yes, there is one future video I have in progress. It's a theory video. Oh my god, when was the last time I ever did one of those, right? But I want to say that the next theory video I'm going to take my time with it, because it's been so long since I did it. I want to make sure that it's done right, in my own style again. The topic of this theory will be CP0. Yeah. But not just like about, it's not going to be particularly about Rob Lucci or the name that will not be mentioned for the sake of my blood pressure. I'm going to talk about the possible leader of CP0. Like, does CP0 have a leader? And if it does, what is his purpose? What is his or her ideology? What could their power be? That kind of stuff. And it's going to be a fun one, because we really have no evidence to really support this claim. But I'm trying to be as realistic as possible with this theory. So the CP0 theory will come in due time. It is done when it's done. But this also brings up a very interesting debate topic. Maybe some of you have already noticed this, but the theory industry, especially for One Piece, is dying off in a way. Months ago, Flying Panda even told me in message on when he DM'd me, and he basically said that theories are dying, and other content creators are basically saying that the theory industry is almost done. And it's very interesting for people to say that. In a way, I get it, because One Piece is starting to turn into a more simplistic story where we already know what we're up against. In part one of One Piece, we didn't really know what was going to happen next. Each arc was its own unique entity. Each arc brought its own unique villain or unique plot or subplot in. Whereas part two, it's while it's still extremely good, there's a reason it's number one right now. But people are starting to realize that it's turning into a more simplified story, where it's going to be, okay, the rest of the story is going to be dealing with the Yonko. And while we could have some theory videos that deal with what a Yonko's powers could be, or what their subordinates could be like, it's not really as creative or sparks the brain, or it's not as entertaining as possible other theories could be. And that's a shame. I don't want the theory industry to die, because the theory industry itself in One Piece is what made me talk about One Piece in the first place on my channel. My channel was originally just supposed to be just another video game or movie review channel. Granted, I will still do that whenever I get the chance, but thanks to all of you, thanks to content creators like One World, Joy Boy, Brogody Ace, Flying Panda, Marco, Pirate King Buggy, just all these people inspired me, and now I'm friends with them, and it's just like they inspired me to do One Piece content, and I feel like I owe it to the very industry itself and to you, the fans, to the other content creators. Just put my heart and soul into this theory business. Flying Panda said the best thing to me during that same conversation, where he just basically said that I was just a breath of fresh air, uh, and that my theories were actually entertaining, except for the Sanji one. That one can just burn in a pile of hate and despair for all I care. I made a terrible mistake with that one. It was just awful, and the fact that Sanji theory video is the most viewed one on my channel, I feel despicable. I feel like I should have, like, you know what? I finally figured out the perfect punishment. Put me through all of the 40 execution attempts made on Kaido. Then I can be redeemed. Then I will be purged of the horrific crime of making that stupid video. I was such a naive fool. But the point is that even though the theories have been coming out slower and slower, I don't want to give up on that particular standard. I don't want to give up on the very industry that allowed me to have a voice and to interact with all of you. I owe it to all of you to at least give more honest shots to the theories, because there is cool stuff to talk about, even if it all is starting to become just a bit more simplistic. And was there anything other videos that I wanted to do that are in the works? There is one. I was thinking of doing another GARP video. That'd be pretty cool. But like a GARP theory, but the GARP theory in itself is just basically saying, when will GARP come back into the story? And then as soon as I started diving into the topics, that led to the CP0 theory that I've been coming up with. So basically, it's just like, oh, well, this is basically the same thing, but with more GARP and less CP0. And in the end, I thought, all right, CP0 is going to be more interesting to talk about. I'll leave GARP in the corner again until I find something to do with him. In other One Piece videos, I have another one that I have the audio for. I just haven't made the video on it yet. And the title, have those comments, have the stones ready, have the pitchforks and torches ready. Is Kaido a ripoff of Logan, aka Wolverine? Oh, hey, I can already feel like a slow spiritual knife piercing my heart as soon as I said that. Hear me out on this one, though. Basically, this all started as a joke in another theory video that I made, where I basically just mentioned that, Kaido is basically just like a god-level Wolverine. That's cool. And then as soon as I made that joke, I actually did give it some serious thought, and, well, Kaido and Logan have a lot of things in common. They have quite a bit in common. And it was to the point where I even had like a little scoreboard where it's like, oh man, Kaido has this, oh, but Logan has that. Well, Logan has this, but oh man, Kaido also has that, and whoo, Lord, it's going to be a fun video to talk about. It's going to be I feel like it's going to be controversial because I just know that some people are just going to read the title. Just like with the Sanji Theory video one that I made, they're just going to read the title and they're just going to immediately like, this is the worst video ever. Kaido and or Logan is your own unique take on the character. You are wrong. You are scum. Just hear me out. I promise I'm going to try to do my best to make it a good, viewable experience. And I guess the only other video that I have in the works right now is it's a certain video game review that I've kept putting off for a long time. Banjo-Tooie video game review. Oh man. Do you guys remember back in like November when I said that the next video I made after the Aokiji theory was going to be, oh man, the Big Banjo-Tooie review. Oops. Basically, the whole spiel about that is that I keep finding opportunities to make the review itself just bigger and better, but I still have to wait for the right opportunity to do certain recording sessions, do certain live action skits, wait for the proper equipment to come in, wait to have friends of mine involved with the project. That's basically what that's why it's been delayed for so long. It will come one day. It's just not going to be now. And I suppose with that, that's just about everything that I have in the works in terms of videos. I think I just literally went through all things One Piece that are relevant nowadays. Again, just to recap, I know everyone that's going to be watching this in full are going to hate me for saying this. We already talked about the possible kid. We already talked about what could happen during Big Mom's flashback arc. We talked about what the Yonko were like as kids. We talked about Pirates 5 of all things. Okay, that's not One Piece, but it's about pirates, so fight me. It just went off on that. I suppose with that, I think that's all I wanted to talk about. Yeah, I do believe that is it for now, unless of course, yeah. What else is that? All right, well, I just saw like a technical glitch just happen. All right, so I'm going to stop it here for now. Apologies to anyone and everyone that couldn't join in into the chat itself. We're going to fix that. I will most likely do another stream tomorrow, except this time I will actually have people involved. But until then, thank you all for joining me. And I will see all of you legends in the next video, which will most likely be tomorrow. Take care, everyone. Thank you for joining me.